Hi, I'm Dan Gonzalez. I took my CDT exam last year in 2022, and here in 2023, I actually just sat for my CCCA exam, and I'm waiting on the results back from that. I don't work for CSI. I'm an architect here in Denver, and I just wanted to present some slides that I gave at my company's monthly staff meeting, explaining a bit about the CDT exam and how it might be useful for practicing architects and why you might want to think about taking it. So let's switch over to the PowerPoint. All right, this first slide just sort of explains about what CSI, the sponsoring organization, is and what they're about. There's several exams that CSI offers. CDT is sort of the entry level exam. It's a bit of a prerequisite. It's very broad and general. And after you pass that, you can go on to take CCS for spec writers, an exam for product reps, and then of course the one that I just took, CCCA, which is designed for people in construction contract administration, or CA. And that exam is also sort of oriented from the architect's perspective. But for today, I'm really just going to be talking about CDT, the entry level exam. All right, CDT, it's a comprehensive program of study for anyone seeking to enhance and demonstrate knowledge of writing, interpreting, enforcing, and managing construction documents. It's 120 multiple choice questions. You have 2 hours. You take it at a Prometric testing center. That's probably where you took your AREs. Also, Prometric has recently started offering remote testing, where you can log in from a computer with a webcam and they monitor you over the webcam. That's how I took both of mine. And the exam is only offered in 2 cycles per year. It's not offered continuously. And that's because the exam is open for about a month. People take their exam, they close it, and then they review the questions with professional test writers. And I think they throw out problematic questions and such before determining who passed. So you don't find out immediately if you've passed, you have to wait. All right. Sort of the most useful information that I think the exam covers is you really get to learn about the big picture of the project lifecycle. That's everything from project conception through design, construction documents, procurement, the actual construction phase, facility management, certainly project closeout. And how that's sort of an iterative cycle that goes around in a circle. But also you learn about the responsibilities of the 4 different project teams at each phase in that project lifecycle. So you learn about what the owner team's responsibilities are. The design team, the contractor team, and the supplier team each have different responsibilities, duties, and expectations at each phase during the project lifecycle. Also, you learn about the hierarchy of information on the project. In your contract documents, you find out where is the most appropriate information to be putting different levels of detail about your project. You know, what sort of information goes into the general conditions of the contract? What information is appropriate to put in the Division 1 spec section? What information goes into Part 1 of the 3-part spec section? And then lastly, the finest level of detail you learn broadly about CSI section format and CSI page formats. You don't worry, you're not delving into the specific nitty-gritty of those formats, but you learn what they're about. You know, CSI section format is the essence of the 3-part spec section, and CSI page format is literally how the spec page is formatted. Like, why are we indenting here? You know, what are the margins? How do you format the tables and stuff like that? So you learn all about the contract documents, everything from the big picture all the way down to the fine details. Um, this diagram is colloquially referred to as the Tower of Power. It shows all of the documents that um, make up your construction and your contract documents. It shows you, though, more importantly, you know, which among those is which is the project manual? What are the contract documents? How does that differ from the procurement documents? And certainly at my office, I found that a lot of people use those terms sort of interchangeably, and they don't necessarily have a good understanding of what all of those terms mean. And I think that can make us look foolish in front of clients when we're throwing words around when we don't necessarily understand the exact meaning of them. And so getting a good understanding of how this diagram is structured and why is an important part of what you'll learn in CDT. Also, you learn about different project delivery methods. The sort of default in our profession is design, bid, build. But there are other project delivery models such as construction manager at risk, design build, owner build, and integrated project delivery. And the exam study material goes over all of those different delivery methods, and you learn about their advantages and their disadvantages. Also, of course, you learn about different delivery methods and how they would affect schedule. And of course, schedule affects pricing, it affects your contract, it affects how you even would structure your documents. You know, if you're doing a fast track technique project, you might be delivering 5 different document packages. So you would certainly need to structure your professional fee accordingly. So yeah, learning about different scheduling methods is another important part of what you'll learn in CDT. Um, Let me make sure I didn't skip that slide. Okay, and there's a lot of study material available to help you learn this. Starting in the top left, I don't know if you can see my mouse. Starting in the top left is sort of the main textbook, the Project Delivery Practice Guide. That's a 380-page book. You can buy a printed copy or you can purchase a digital download version. And that's the main textbook. But there's a lot of other study materials available, such as there's PDF flashcards that you can actually purchase from CSI's online bookstore. It's a PDF download. I think it's like $5 or $10. You download the PDF of the flashcards and you print them at home, cut them out, fold them yourself. I thought those were super useful. But definitely the most useful tool here on the right is the interactive PDF study workbook. It's an interactive PDF. You can see here that there's a little like pull down, and you read the question, then you use the pull down to select what you think the answer is, and you hit a little checkbox on the bottom of the page and it reveals the answers. So it's, you know, the closest that you can come to practice tests. And again, this is an official CSI publication, so the content aligns very well with the actual exam material, I felt. And lastly, there are boot camp prep classes. And these are offered by CSI chapters around the country. A lot of them have moved to Zoom. So I, as a matter of fact, I've taken 2 different prep classes, one for each of my exams, and I took them from, you know, chapters in other states, and it was great. All right. Full disclosure, this slide is about costs and schedule, and these obviously change. Who knows when you're watching this video? But this was my price and schedule when I took the exam. So, who is the CDT for? Well, at my company, I recommended it to project architects, people involved in construction administration, spec writers, and junior staff that were seeking to move up into those types of roles. The costs. All right, so my company paid for my CSI membership. That was $375. And that got me discount. I purchased that because I wanted to unlock discounts on both the exam fee as well as the study material and books and such. Do the math yourself, figure out if that makes sense for you. My exam fee was $399. There is early bird registration. That's what I did, so that'll be a little bit cheaper than some of the later registration. The main study book was $119, and then of course there's other materials like classes and the flashcards and such, and so prices will vary on those. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, the exam is only offered in 2 cycles per year. Typically, the spring cycle, you would register in February. You would actually take the exam in May or early June, and then you get your results notification in July. For CDT, I did the fall cycle. You know, I registered in August or early September. I sat for the exam. You know, the exam opens in early November. I think I sat in early December. And then the results notification was supposedly in January. I actually got mine February 1st. So yeah, if you are interested in taking CDT, I hope that this video helped explain better what the the exam content is broadly about, and if you think that that would be useful to advancing your career. I decided to embark on getting these certifications because we're entering a time of economic uncertainty, and that's always a great time to polish up your resume, get new credentials and letters after your name. But also, you know, I've had people tell me that they feel that this material is more useful in their everyday practice of architecture than even the ARE. I've certainly found it useful. I do construction administration. It's good to understand why responsibilities are delegated the way they are across the project team. So yeah, feel free to leave something in the comments. My email address is also in the video description. Thanks and good luck.